Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something really vital for pretty much any business these days, how to get more five-star Google reviews, but without, begging or bribing people for them.
Exactly. And it's easy to underestimate just how powerful these Google reviews are. Think about it. It's like the modern version of word of mouth happening constantly.
Thousands of times a day, people are making decisions based on those stars.
Right. And what we really want to explore today isn't about gaming the system. It's deeper than that. It's about understanding the psychology, what makes customers genuinely happy, so happy they want to share that good experience.
Yeah, how do you create experiences that just naturally spark that enthusiasm? So reviews become like a genuine reflection of the great work you're doing.
That's the goal. Less manipulation, more authentic appreciation.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the why. Why do Google reviews carry so much weight? It feels like they've become this cornerstone of digital trust.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about your own behavior. You search for, I don't know, a local coffee shop or a plumber. What pops up immediately with the map and the business info?
The reviews, stars, comments, right there.
Exactly. That integration with Google search, that prominent display, it's huge. Plus, Google has verification processes, and just the sheer volume of reviews people leave there gives it credibility.
And the trust levels are really high, aren't they, compared to other platforms?
Yeah, the numbers are pretty striking. You see trust levels around, 87%? Visibility is near universal, like 95%, and engagement is way up there too, maybe 82%. It really does overshadow many other review sites in terms of immediate impact.
It taps into something fundamental, doesn't it? Like basic human psychology.
Definitely. It's all about social proof, a concept Robert Cialdini researched extensively. We're wired to look to others to figure out what's good or safe, especially when we're uncertain.
Makes sense.
And Google Reviews delivers that social proof in spades.
How does that play out specifically with reviews?
Well, there are a few principles. First, consensus validation, seeing lots of positive reviews signals, hey, lots of people approve of this.
Okay.
Then there's authority bias. A review marked as coming from a verified purchaser, for instance, just feels more authoritative, more trustworthy.
Right. They actually use the service.
Exactly. And we tend to trust people similar to us, similarity attraction. Plus, positive reviews reduce that feeling of risk when you're trying something new.
And what about the star rating itself? Before you even read the comments.
That's confirmation bias. That initial star rating creates an impression, good or bad, and then we subconsciously tend to look for comments that confirm that first feeling.
Huh. So if I see 4.8 stars, I'm already kind of looking for the good stuff in the text.
Pretty much. It sets the stage. Think about choosing, say, a dentist. One has 300 reviews and 4.9 stars. Another has 15 reviews and 4.2 stars. Even without reading deeply, you're leaning towards the first one.
Yeah, absolutely. Feels safer, more proven.
And what's really interesting is how this can become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
How so?
Well, if you see tons of great reviews, you go in expecting a fantastic experience. Because you expect it, you might be more attuned to the positive aspects, reinforcing your good feeling.
And then you're more likely to leave a positive review yourself.
Exactly. It creates this positive feedback loop.
So beyond the overall star rating, what other signals within Google reviews build that crucial trust?
Oh, several things. The total number of reviews, for one. It suggests experience and reliability.
Yeah.
Recency is huge. Are the reviews from last week or last year? Recent positive reviews suggest consistent quality.
That makes sense. You want to know what it's like now?
Right. Detailed comments describing specific experiences are gold. They give you real insight. Seeing the business owner actually responding to reviews, both good and bad, shows they're engaged and care.
Yeah. Owner responses make a big difference.
For sure. Also, photos uploaded by customers, mentions of specific services or products, and seeing consistent positive themes mentioned across different reviews, all these things add layers of credibility.
It sounds like a lot to take in when you're looking at reviews. How do people typically process all that information?
Research suggests we often scan in what's called an F pattern.
F pattern.
Yeah. You glance at the star rating first, then maybe scan down the dates of the most recent reviews, and then your eyes might dart across to read snippets of specific comments that catch your attention.
Ah, okay. Quick scan first, then dive in selectively.
Pretty much. And there's a generational difference, too. Younger consumers tend to read more reviews on average and really value that recency factor.
And the economic impact is real, isn't it? Even small changes in rating matter.
Hugely real. There's data showing that even a tiny 0.1 star increase in average rating can correlate with something like a 4.4% improvement in conversion rate. That's significant.
Wow. So those stars translate directly into customers choosing you over a competitor.
Absolutely. And positive reviews don't just attract customers, they shape expectations. If people read about your amazing customer service, they come in expecting it. And when you deliver, that positive expectation can actually enhance their overall satisfaction.
We heard about a local boutique. They focused on their reviews.
Yeah, a great example. They improved their rating and saw a noticeable jump in new customers walking in. Not only that, but people started spending more per visit, their customer acquisition cost went down, and they even saw better customer retention.
It really builds on itself then.
It creates this virtuous cycle. A strong review profile becomes a powerful long-term asset. And with Google always tweaking things, adapting early gives you an edge.
Okay, so the why is clear. Google reviews are massively influential. Let's dig into the how now. What's going on psychologically when someone feels compelled to leave a great review?
It often comes down to the emotional experience. Think about the last time you were truly wowed by a service. Maybe a mechanic went above and beyond, explained everything clearly, maybe even cleaned your dashboard. It wasn't just that they fixed the car, it was how they made you feel.
Right, valued, respected, maybe even pleasantly surprised.
Exactly. That emotional peak is often what triggers someone to share. It's usually more than just competence, it's connection or unexpected kindness.
And doesn't this connect to that idea about how we remember experiences, the peak end rule?
Precisely. Daniel Kahneman's work highlights this. We don't remember the average of every single moment of an experience. Our memory latches onto the most emotionally intense point, the peak, and how the experience ended.
So the boring bits in the middle kind of fade away.
Largely, yes. For a restaurant, the peak might be an amazing dish or incredibly attentive service. The end might be a smooth payment process and a warm goodbye. Those are the moments that stick.
Okay, so for different businesses, a retail store, maybe a fantastic interaction with a salesperson finding the perfect item.
Could be. Or a really easy, pleasant checkout. For a doctor's office, maybe it's the doctor taking extra time to explain things clearly, or the friendly efficiency of the staff at the end.
In these peak moments, they don't have to be huge gestures, right?
Not at all. Sometimes the most memorable peaks are small, thought-real touches. A hotel remembering it's your anniversary, a service provider tidying up unexpectedly. It's about showing you care in a tangible way.
What are the core emotions driving this? You mentioned feeling valued.
Gratitude is a massive driver. When a customer feels genuinely seen, heard, and appreciated, there's often a natural desire to reciprocate that positivity. Leaving a glowing review feels like a way to say thank you.
Like that example of the bookstore owner who remembers your taste and recommends the perfect next read.
Exactly. That creates a cascade, feeling understood, feeling special, feeling grateful, and then there's surprise and delight.
Ah, the unexpected positive.
Yes. When a business delivers something positive that the customer wasn't anticipating, goes above and beyond the standard expectation, it creates a memorable wow moment. We're often motivated to share surprising experiences, good or bad.
But it needs to feel genuine, doesn't it? You can't just script surprise and delight.
Absolutely not. Authenticity is paramount. People have pretty good BS detectors.
Yeah, they do.
Authentic moments come from a few key things. Truly recognizing individual customer needs, not just treating everyone the same. Being transparent about your processes and pricing. Delivering consistent quality every time. And combining that reliable foundation with genuine, unscripted moments of authentic care. That's where the real emotional connection happens.
That combination sounds powerful. Authentic care plus exceptional moments.
That's the sweet spot for earning those heartfelt, detailed 5-star reviews.
Okay, so understanding the psychology is one thing. How does a business actually design its customer experience to make these review-worthy moments happen more often?
It starts with realizing that literally every touch point is an opportunity. From the moment someone first hears about you or lands on your website, all the way through to any follow-up after the sale.
You mean mapping out that whole journey?
Exactly. Thinking intentionally about each stage. There was this boutique owner in Portland who noticed something interesting.
Oh, yeah.
She realized that customers who ended up having longer, more in-depth conversations with her staff were far more likely to leave positive reviews later.
Huh. So connection equaled reviews.
Pretty much. So she redesigned parts of her customer experience to actively encourage those kinds of interactions, training her team not just on products, but on building rapport. And her reviews and sales improved significantly.
That's fascinating. So it's about consciously crafting shareable moments.
Yes. Think about a luxury hotel chain. They might identify that the arrival and departure are key end moments according to the peak end rule.
Right.
So they invest heavily in making check-in seamless and welcoming, and checkout efficient and appreciative, maybe with a small parting gift. Those refined touch points can significantly boost overall satisfaction ratings.
So let's break down that customer journey, pre-purchase. How does that impact potential reviews?
That's all about setting expectations and first impressions. Think about a medical practice. If their website is confusing or scheduling is difficult, you're starting off negatively. But if they provide clear instructions, maybe even welcome videos introducing the staff before your first visit, that reduces anxiety and sets a positive tone.
Okay, then the initial contact walking in the door, the first phone call.
Crucial for setting the emotional tone. A warm, genuine greeting, maybe a restaurant host who actually remembers your name from the reservation that makes an immediate positive impact.
Then the main event, the service delivery itself.
This is where you have the biggest opportunity to exceed expectations. Maybe it's a car service center that sends you a video explanation from the mechanic showing exactly what needs repair. That transparency builds huge trust.
That's a great example. And the follow-up, after they've paid and left.
This is often where satisfaction either translates into a review or just fades away. Personalized follow-up, checking if everything met their expectations, maybe a thank you note. These things can prompt that positive reflection and make asking for a review feel natural.
And you need to consider both the practical and the emotional side at each step.
Absolutely. Take that high-end salon example again. They didn't just map tasks, they mapped emotional needs.
Like what?
Okay, so the need for recognition was met by a personalized greeting using their name. The need for validation by a thorough style consultation. Control was addressed with service previews. Trust through transparent pricing discussions, and connection through personalized follow-up care advice. See how each service element tied to an emotional need.
Wow, that's detailed. It's about engineering excellence, but through that human connection.
Exactly. You need efficient systems, but you also need to empower your team to be human, to connect authentically. It's a balance. Like a boutique hotel that has smooth processes, but also staff encouraged to chat with guests about their plans and offer personalized recommendations.
Which brings us back to the team. Training them in emotional intelligence sounds critical.
Absolutely essential. They need to understand basic customer psychology, recognizing different needs, reading cues. An introvert might want efficiency, an extrovert might appreciate conversation.
Right.
They need skills for creating personal connections, even briefly. Remembering small details, sharing a relevant interest. Think of a coffee shop barista who uses digital notes to remember regulars' orders, and maybe asks about their dog by name.
That makes a difference.
Huge difference, and empowering them to create those unexpected moments of care. A dental practice offering a warm blanket if a patient seems cold, or proactively calling a cab for someone after a long appointment.
And crucially, how to handle problems.
Yes, training and empowering them to handle challenges proactively and empathetically. Maybe a restaurant server who's authorized to comp a dessert if there was a delay without needing manager approval. That immediate resolution can turn a negative into a positive.
But it's not all on the individual team member's shoulders, right? The business needs to support them.
Definitely. Systematic excellence and innovation are key. Top companies use technology strategically to enhance, not replace, that personal connection.
Like CRM systems.
Exactly. Customer intelligence systems, or CRMs, that track preferences allow for personalization. Imagine a retail store where AI helps staff recognize returning customers and recall their past purchases or style preferences.
Okay, that's pretty advanced. What else?
Experience monitoring tools, quick surveys during or right after an interaction to get real-time feedback. Process automation is big too.
How does automation help with connection?
By handling the routine stuff. A dental practice automating appointment reminders frees up the front desk staff to have more meaningful conversations with patients who are actually in the office.
Got it. So technology handles the mechanics, freeing up humans for the empathy.
Precisely. And it's about aligning investments with what customers actually value and constantly using review content itself to innovate. A restaurant sees multiple reviews mentioning difficulties finding allergy information. They develop a better tracking system and menu labeling. That responsiveness builds loyalty.
Okay, so we've designed this amazing, potentially review-worthy experience. But you mentioned earlier, there's often still a disconnect. Happy customers don't always write reviews. How do we bridge that gap? The art of asking.
You got it. Because many satisfied customers simply don't think of it, or maybe they feel it's too much effort. The businesses that are really successful at this aren't just randomly asking everyone, they're using principles of behavioral psychology to craft requests that are personalized, well-timed, and feel natural.
And this actually works. It increases review rates.
Significantly, both the number of reviews and often the quality, more detailed positive feedback.
Okay, so what's the psychology behind asking for a review effectively?
Several factors. Reciprocity is a big one. Remember feeling grateful. If you asked shortly after delivering great value or a moment of kindness, people are more inclined to return the favor. Timing is key here.
When they're feeling that peak satisfaction.
Exactly. Another angle is social identity. Framing the request around helping other people like them, your feedback could really help someone else looking for X, taps into our desire to contribute to our community or group.
Oh, that's clever. Less about helping the business, more about helping fellow consumers.
Right. And perceived effort matters a lot. Make it easy. Provide a direct link. Break down the request if needed. Research shows completion rates for surveys plummet if they seem too long or complicated. Keep it simple.
We see requests come in different ways, in person, email, text, even those little printed cards sometimes. Does the method matter?
It can. Different methods have different response rates and might yield slightly different types of reviews. In-person requests, when done well, often have a high success rate because of that direct connection we talked about. But it really depends on the execution and, crucially, the timing.
Timing again. The golden moment.
Yes, the science of perfect timing suggests there's a sweet spot where about 5 things converge.
Okay, what are they?
1, the customer satisfaction is at its peak. 2, the value they received is still fresh in their mind. 3, they've experienced the full benefit of your product or service. 4, there's a natural opening or pause in the conversation. And 5, they've expressed clear appreciation or satisfaction. When those align, that's your golden moment.
Finding that moment probably takes some observation and maybe even testing.
Absolutely. It varies hugely by business type. A mechanic might ask after explaining the successful repair and handing back the keys. A consultant might ask after delivering a report that shows clear, positive results.
Like that marketing agency example.
Exactly. They saw a 400% increase in reviews when they started asking specifically after clients saw measurable campaign improvements. They asked when the value was undeniable.
But just relying on individual staff members to spot these moments perfectly every time, that seems hard to scale. You mentioned needing a system.
You do. Timing and language are crucial, but you need a sustainable, repeatable system backing it up.
What are the core parts of a system like that?
I'd say 3 main components. First, staff training and empowerment. They need to understand the why, the psychology, and be trained to recognize those opportunities and how to ask naturally, not robotically.
Okay, training.
Second, technology integration and automation. Using your CRM or other tools to track the customer journey, identify likely satisfaction peaks, and automate personalized follow-up requests where appropriate. But again, balancing automation with authenticity is key.
Right, don't want it to feel spammy.
Never. And third, quality control and ongoing optimization. Tracking your success rates for different request methods or timings, assessing the quality of reviews you're getting, maybe even tying review generation success, ethically of course, to staff performance metrics.
So it's a whole orchestrated process.
Yes. Think of a retail chain. They might have an assessment phase, identifying happy customers via surveys or staff notes, an execution phase, trained staff make the in-person ask, or an automated email goes out at the right time, and an analysis phase, tracking results, refining the process. The power of the system is creating that smooth, almost effortless path from customer satisfaction to public advocacy.
Makes sense. Now, the flip side. Despite our best efforts, negative reviews happen. Let's talk about handling those. It's not just about damage control, is it?
Not at all. Low ratings can sting, but they're often incredibly valuable feedback. Successful businesses don't just try to hide them, they use them to improve and sometimes even win back that unhappy customer.
So first step is understanding why someone leaves a negative review. It's probably not just one small thing.
Usually not. It's often a culmination of unmet expectations or specific triggers. Think of an auto repair shop. Maybe the initial quote was unclear, the repair took longer than promised, and the final bill was higher than expected. It's the combination that leads to the angry review.
What are the common psychological drivers behind negative feedback?
Perceived disrespect is a huge one. Feeling dismissed, ignored, or condescended to. Statistics from the luxury hotel industry show this is a major factor.
Feeling like you don't matter.
Exactly. Expectation violations are another big trigger. If the marketing promised X, but the reality was Y, especially if Y was significantly worse, people feel misled. Think of booking a luxury hotel that turns out to be more like a basic motel.
Ouch. Yeah.
Value misalignment can also cause issues. If a restaurant heavily promotes its sustainability practices, but a customer sees wasteful behavior, that disconnect can prompt a negative review. Communication breakdowns are frequent culprits: lack of clarity, unreturned calls, confusing instructions.
Right.
And finally, emotional investment. The more time, money, or emotional energy someone invests, like planning a wedding and hiring a photographer, the stronger the negative reaction if things go wrong.
Okay, so someone leaves a negative review. How do you respond in a way that actually builds trust rather than making it worse?
This is critical because your response is visible to everyone, not just the original reviewer. It can often be more influential than the criticism itself.
So timing matters.
Yes. Respond reasonably quickly, ideally within a few hours, maybe up to a day. Don't let it fester.
And the content of the response.
The absolute first step is genuine acknowledgement. Even if you disagree with their interpretation, acknowledge their experience and their feelings. Start there.
Don't get defensive immediately.
No, that's the worst thing you can do. I saw a great example from a boutique hotel manager. Their response started by thanking the guest for the detailed feedback, specifically acknowledging the points raised like noise from the street or slow room service.
Okay.
Then, crucially, they didn't make excuses. They took responsibility, explained the specific steps they were taking to address the issues, like improving window soundproofing, retraining staff, and personally invited the guest to contact them directly to discuss it further and perhaps arrange a future stay to demonstrate the improvements.
That sounds really effective. Acknowledgement, specific action, personal responsibility, offer solutions, invite dialogue.
That's the framework. It shows you're listening, you care, and you're committed to doing better. It reassures potential future customers reading the exchange.
Is it really possible to turn these critics into fans? Like actually make them advocates?
It is, but it often requires going significantly beyond just fixing the initial complaint. You need to create a positive, lasting emotional connection.
Yeah.
Some companies have dedicated programs for this. A luxury car dealership had a Critics to Champions initiative. When a customer had a major service issue and complained, they didn't just fix the car.
What else do they do?
They often went above and beyond, maybe providing a top-of-the-line loaner car, detailing the customer's vehicle meticulously upon return, and having a senior manager personally follow up. They aimed to exceed recovery expectations. They also focused on personal connection, assigning a specific service advisor to stay in touch. And they made a point of demonstrating systematic improvements based on the feedback, maybe through "you spoke, we listened" communications. They reportedly turned around 40% of those initial critics into positive advocates.
That's impressive. Exceed recovery expectations, personal connection, demonstrate improvement.
Those are the key elements. It takes effort, but the payoff in turning detractors into fans, or at least neutralizing the negativity, can be huge.
So responding well is crucial. Turning critics is possible, but ideally, you want fewer negative reviews in the first place.
What about systems for prevention?
Absolutely. Proactive measures are always better. This involves building systems for early warning detection,
Like what?
monitoring social media mentions in real time, encouraging staff to report potential issues immediately, using quick poll surveys during the customer journey to catch dissatisfaction early.
Okay, catching problems before they blow up. Exactly. Then, having rapid response protocols, empowering frontline staff to resolve certain issues on the spot without needing layers of approval. That restaurant chain where servers can immediately fix a minor order mistake or offer a complimentary item, that prevents small issues from escalating.
Makes sense. Immediate resolution.
And finally, having continuous improvement cycles baked into your operations. Regularly analyzing all feedback reviews, surveys, complaints to identify recurring problems or systemic weaknesses, and then making concrete changes to address them. Using the feedback loop for genuine enhancement.
Some companies are even using AI for this now.
Yeah, predictive analytics. Some hotel chains use AI to analyze guest data and past feedback patterns to predict which guests might be at higher risk of having a negative experience, allowing staff to provide proactive attention or perks to mitigate potential issues.
Fascinating. So wrapping things up, if you want to build a top-rated business on Google, what are the absolute key takeaways?
Ultimately, it comes down to, I think, consistency, responsiveness, and a genuine ongoing commitment to improvement. It's not about quick fixes.
Right.
Businesses that achieve and maintain high ratings consistently see significant growth and demand. It really requires mastering those pillars we've discussed,
Okay.
understanding the customer psychology, intentionally designing excellent experiences, developing smart ethical systems for review generation, managing all feedback constructively, and constantly evolving.
And building those comprehensive systems seems vital, the ones that balance technology with that indispensable human touch.
Absolutely. The best systems use technology to enable better human interactions, not replace them. Think of that medical practice automating reminders so staff can focus on patients, or the automotive group using CRM data for personalized service follow-ups.
Looking ahead, how do businesses future-proof this? Is the landscape changing?
It's always evolving. Embracing AI for insights and personalization will be increasingly important, but also thinking beyond just traditional text reviews.
Like what?
Video reviews are becoming more popular, voice feedback might grow, platforms are incorporating more interactive elements, enhanced visuals. Businesses need to stay adaptable and focus on authentic community engagement wherever those conversations are happening.
So the core principles remain, but the tools and platforms might shift.
Exactly. Your reputation is dynamic, not static. The investment you make today in psychology, experience design, feedback systems, it creates compound benefits over time. It's about building a sustainable competitive advantage.
A powerful thought to end on. Reputation isn't just managed, it's earned, interaction by interaction.
Precisely. Make every customer interaction count.